Hey guys, welcome to a new video. Today we're going to check out the top 5 top laners this patch, since I think it's probably changed the most and we didn't look at them much in 7.9, and I know that because I got flamed so much in my comments last week. By the way, this is the first video with the new editor I am trying, so let me know what you think is cool, what you'd want to see done differently. At the end of the day, you guys are the ones watching it and I want to do what you guys think is good. So number 5, Gallio. If you watched any of the MSI games, you know exactly why he's so strong, and he is by far the best tank you can play top lane at the moment. The weird thing is he's actually not that good late game, honestly. He's like an early to mid game champion, at least for now, while people learn the game and for solo queue. He's got very strong lane phase, better than most people think actually, good damage, poke like the engage, and also some wave clear as well, which means he can naturally push the wave quite well. His ultimate means he can also roam and join in ganks mid lane. It's actually very risky to invade against a Gallio or actually gank the mid lane because he can join the jungler or the mid laner. He's not the best versus like Riven, Yasuo, who can outscale him, but otherwise does pretty well and very good at team pick as well. If you play flex queue or duo with somebody you can trust to carry, Gallio is really good at helping them do it. I do call Gallio a tank, but really he's got a ton of damage and can easily win the lane phase like a carry champion would. The poke is very hard to deal with, it does a lot of damage, and that lead can be used with his ultimate to impact the other lanes as well. Now Fiora, number 4, the tank buster, even though there are not that many tanks around anymore, so it doesn't really make sense. She does destroy Fizz Top and Kled though, who are popular semi-tank, semi-carries, and that is where a lot of her power actually comes from. In the right hands, Fiora is still a very deadly pick, though I would not place her higher in this video just because some of her matchups right now are really hard to play and actually to get out ahead. You do have a good lane phase though, where it's kind of okay, but like it moves into a really solid late game. Split push, now that the game is going a bit longer, is a very easy way to win games, and nobody is better than Fiora really, except maybe Yasuo or Tryndamere. If she can 1v1 the enemy top laner, then the pressure that she actually creates makes an easy game. The main thing is she has a decent lane phase and a good team fight or split push. She can adapt to the game and normally come out ahead, at least have a good impact either way. Darius is taking the bronze medal, the good old lane king that spanks people early, plus one of the few who can actually beat Gallio as well. Darius as a champion is pretty much the definition of balance in my opinion, like a balanced kit anyway. You've got some clear counterplay, so you don't let him reset in fights, you walk away with the bleed stacks, you dodge his Q heal, but he's also got some clear strengths as well, right? Trading in the lane phase is very good, he resets in team fights, sustain if he plays it properly, and stuff like that. While it's very hard to lose lane as Darius, it's also pretty hard not to fall off at some point in the game. You're not going to always be as strong as you are in the lane phase. Honestly, I feel like if you want to carry, picking a champion who you can 90% of the time win your lane, you're giving yourself a very good chance at least doing well in it. The main thing is your lane phase is a beast, like you always stand a chance to carry and get a lead and snowball. You may fall off a bit, but one reset in a team fight, even if you're losing the game, means you can turn it around. Also, try Trinity Force first with the Sterix. I know it sounds very weird, but you'll be surprised how much damage you do. Yasuo is basically one of the best late game top laners you can play, but he's a lot better mid game now as well. That is the difference this patch. Before, one of the biggest problems with this guy was that you took too long to be useful. If you got dumpstered, you're pretty much out of the game for ages. Now crit is cheaper, it means your mid game build is easier to get, so if you get ahead you snowball harder, but if you get behind you have more chance to come back. This is why playing with gold values in the game is actually super risky, because you can have effect like this where bad Yasuo players are actually more effective. These bad players are going to be better now, but the good ones are going to be even better than before. Champions like Zac as well have got to be boosting the win rate. Like if you think a lot of the most popular junglers at the moment have knockups that can activate your ultimate, but if not, you just split push and you can win that way. Main thing is you have a really good late game, and it's easier to get to that late game now as well. Trash heroes are better, and ones that are good at the champion are insane to play against. Riven is going to be our number 1. The animation cancelling buffs plus Death Dance plus GA plus Sterix plus the meta shift means she's so beast right now. Her win rate has like big time jumped up this patch, but if you look at it, it's mostly mid to late game where she starts to kick into gear more than anything else. It seems like you can go Thunderlords or Fervor at the moment as well. Like it's really more up to you and your playstyle. Thunderlords isn't going to be as good late game as Fervor, but it does give you a bit more early at least. I think the item buffs are the biggest thing though. Guardian Angel giving her more AD and a revive as well, which is perfect for you when you're building full damage. Death Dance gives you more lifesteal and dueling power, and with your ultimate you can easily heal back the bleed damage as well. She's beating pretty much everybody at the moment. That is how good she is. Like everything in this video has an average negative win rate against Riven in 7.10. The main things really are your ability to carry is crazy at the moment. She can do some work early, but mid to late game you are definitely able to pretty much take over the game yourself. Your build is solid, she got good buffs, and overall a massive spike up in how good she is. So a few honorable mentions and stuff before we end the video. First one, Rumble. It's hard to put him in the top 5 when you can play a beast Rumble or an absolutely terrible one, even worse than like Yasuo players to be honest. He is capable of having a massive impact though. You can do well in lane phase, but your true power is in team fights with your ultimate. Another one is going to be Swain, a bit more underrated underrated in terms of power, like a good counter to most of the bruiser champions though. That's why he's here. He's super good early to mid game, but he does fall off a little bit, and awkwardly, if that's smart enough to buy an Executioner's Calling, you're going to be in some trouble. There are a couple to watch as well, flying under the radar a little bit. Pantheon is the same as Swain kind of, but a bit more risky, but more effective. He's still really good top lane, especially over in Korea where they're more aggressive. You are really the early to mid game pick that can snowball out of control. You beat almost every meta pick except Gallio, beating like Riven, Darius, Fizz and stuff, just because you have such a good lane phase. Another one is Yorick. He's kind of the rising star of the top lane at the moment this patch. He is so good in the lane phase, it's unreal. The synergy with Trinity and Serix is really good, and you're able to snowball lane. You can dive, get a lead, push towers. You're going to be able to get a massive lead over your opponent. That is the important thing. Next patch, I would watch out for Renekton. They're reverting these 7.10 nerfs to him, which were pretty terrible, and you should see him jump back up in win rate next patch, I think. Also, too, what about Fizz? The nerfs hit him really hard apparently this patch. I didn't think it would be that bad, but he's for real getting crushed by basically every top laner on this list, and then some others as well. Kled is another one who is still good, but he's losing a lot to Riven and Fiora, who are basically the most popular champions at the moment, and that is a problem. You can play him and you can do well for sure. You can also roam and be so effective at catching people, but you're going to want to avoid those two matchups 100%, or you're probably going to get screwed. Anyway, let me know if you have any feedback about the new editor and stuff that he could do a bit better, or stuff that you think is really cool. Thank you for watching until the end, but for now, I'll leave you with the robots.